Warning, disaster incoming.
What's up, everybody? My name is Daniel. You know me online as Disaster Dan, and today is another episode of Budget Beginnings, where I take the new Universus product precons that they release, and I do a $15 upgrade to them. Today, we're going to be talking about Jin Kazama. Jin Kazama is one of the two new Tekken 8 Clash X we're getting, and he's a pretty cool character in my opinion. Just in card and character wise, I'm a Tekken fan. I'm a fighting game fan, so I really like Jin. And in Tekken 8, he's gone his redemption arc, and his redemption arc has brought him here. So yeah, I hope you guys like the deck. I will say one thing. I understand that these decks are cheaper than the Challenger decks, but I'm still sticking to one deck because what if you could only buy one deck? So yeah, this is gonna be a cheaper deck in general than like buying one Deku Challenger and adding $15. But that's fine. That's kind of the point of the point of this video. But yeah, if you guys like the video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again. Until then, let's get into the video. Before we get into the deck profile, let's talk about the character for a moment. So, Jin Kazama, Lightning of Faith. It's a 6-hander, 31 health character with Air, Evil, Good. Enhance, Commit. Your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each attack in your card pool. Enhance, if your rival has 8 more foundations, your attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. He's not like the craziest character ever. He's also not the worst. The big thing is by his Enhance Commit, your attack gets 1/1 for each attack. So if you play multiple cards in a turn, so say I'm playing my current attack as the 4th attack of the in the board, well now I have a +4/+4 to this card, which is pretty good. The issue is that's Enhanced Commit. He does have his foundation that says destroy it, and he gets to restand to do this ability again on that turn if you want to. And I built him on good because he does have a couple of cards on good that help with this idea, with this strategy. So we're going to get into that. So here are the upgrades I made to the character, the choices that I have put with him. And then the total is $15 total. Now, if these numbers have changed since the day I made this, I'm not entirely sure. I have not looked back into it, but this gives you at least a rough estimate of what these numbers would be to upgrade this. Maybe something's potentially a quarter more, maybe something's 50 cents more. I have no idea. But $15, give or take, that's where the deck is where these upgrades are gonna cost you to put into the deck. And then here's the deck profile. So as you can see, I have 19 attacks, 40 foundations, 1 asset. This puts you at 60 cards total, 22 highs, 20, 18 lows. So pretty good average block zones. Some notable cards I want to talk about is Knee Smash. So this is a 1 high 6. Remove 1 foundation. The top card of your discard pile is a foundation. Build it. With Devil Gene, it says destroy if your character's Jin Kazama, ready your character. So you can go use Jin Kazama on an attack. It doesn't have to be Knee Smash. It could be the one before. Then you play Knee Smash, a Devil Gene, destroy it, restand Jin Kazama, and then Knee Smash, immediately remove foundation to rebuild back in Devil Gene. So now you've used Jin Kazama 3 times on that turn because you'll commit it the first time, restand it with Gene, commit it a second time, restand it with this Gene again that you just brought back. Which is pretty good. There's another card that sadly was out of the price range for the $15. I have it down here as the considerations to purchasing after these $15 upgrade. Cancer Creation Strike, lose 2 health and remove foundation. You can build one. You can build in Devil Gene if you get rid of a 2-diff. But yeah, some other ones are like Rewind Throttle. This is a cheap foundation hate card. Discard a card to make the command foundation. If you discard a card, draw 1 card. Can just help get rid of the pesky foundations on their board that you might have a problem with. They're learning the standards. They're so manly. Things like that can stop you from playing multiple attacks because that is the theme of the characters. He wants to play a bunch of attacks, which is, as you can see, that's why I'm also playing primarily 4-diffs because they're cheaper and they're easier to play. Switch to vertical maneuvering gear. It says difficulty 1 or less, so it can choose face downs because face downs have a difficulty of 0. So you can flip all your cards and then restand them, or You have small and limber, which says your furies or kicks or charges get +1/+1. You can commit to give this a 1/1, then restand it if he deals damage. And then if you can also give it the additional stats that your character's giving. The other cards, so Lost in Thought is just another good foundation hate that's on good. New Training Method is just a really good card in general. This not only can build in your Devil Gene from your hand if you don't want to, without paying any cost for it or having to play it like for a check, but also if you check your Devil Gene, you can commit and flip this to add it to your hand so you can build it for the next turn. Shoji's Message. It's basically the only defensive card in this deck. Sadly, Good does not have a lot of cheaper defensive cards. You have things like Airy Smile, Keiko's Aid, Nice Try, but those cards were too expensive for this deck build. So right now we just have Shobin's Message, and then it's like Resting Up, which says minus your speed if your character's committed. You're probably going to end your turn with your character committed because you're going to use that Enhance to get a little bit more through. And so yeah, these are like basically your only defensive cards in the deck, which is fine because you're an aggro character. You're not expecting the game to go on multiple turns. You're probably gonna try. Maybe a turn 3 is probably where it wants to be. If you had more Devil Gene, you could probably do it for sure turn 3, but sadly, I'm only playing 2 because it's only from the one deck. Male Bonding. You're a 31 health character that's aggro. You can take a couple hits. And this says if you take a couple hits, you now have more foundations to play more attacks. So it's just a really good inclusion to this character. Small and Limber. You play a lot of kicks. You play a lot of furies. Brazilian Kick is a kick. This is a fury. This is a fury. This is a fury. I think these are the only 2 cards, Polar Demon Gouge and Over the Shoulder Reverse, that it doesn't do anything with, but it does have the other ability of it restands if something leaves your stage. So if you Devil Gene, you can restand your small limbers. If you Breaking Step, you can restand your small limbers. If you Jin Karate Train, you can restand your small limbers. So it's also just a good extender to keep getting more attacks out. It's also a 1-diff, so Vertical Maneuvering can restand it, which is a really good interaction since it also gives it stats. And yeah, I didn't put a 0-diff in here. It comes with a 0-diff. There is some good 0-diffs on good if you want to play them, but I'm already at the $15, so I couldn't find extra spots for those. Team Dr. Ichigaki is just a really good card in general. Basically, stop any non-character keyword ability. So, if you want to stop an enhanced response when it's going to stop you, you can do that. It's just a really good way to make sure your stuff gets through. And yeah, the Big 3 is another good card. This is a Deadlock ability, so Deadlock change your zone of your attack. It gets 1 speed, make these things easier to hit, which is what the whole purpose of this game is. You want things to do damage and to get through. But it also has, if you have 3 or more attacks in your card pool, draw a card, and you're a character that likes to have a lot of attacks on the board. So yeah, everything else is from the deck. You got your 2 Devil Gene. You got 2 Key Charge Strike. I'm not the biggest fan of this card since it's a flip effect, but we're playing it because we needed the spots anyway. Karate Training's really good. After you've dealt damage turn, you get to draw 2 cards. Now it is unfortunate that you have to do this while this card's active, so you can't commit it then do it. But drawing 2 cards is always really good. You're an aggro character. You want to see more cards. And depending on like how many male bondings you've seen and how many turns it's been, this may not even really affect how your turn goes. Like I said, most of these, like all of these are 4-diffs except for your other your UR attack, which you may or may not have to play. I'm playing it because I feel like if I'm going to do this starter deck thing, that you should be able to play the URs of your deck. So I'm going to include the URs that come with the character because it makes it better. But yeah, Breaking Step is just a really good 1-diff. Give damage for every attack in your card pool. This Rewind Throttle can become very scary, as your 4th attack. It becomes a 5 high for 3, turn it into a 9 high for 7, turn it into a 9 high for 11. Is really good. Same with like knee smash. It's a 1 high for 6, but once you can give it a bunch of speed, it's gonna get there. Warp Intentions gives your thing stun 1. It's just a solid 1 diff spam card. And then Jin's Parry is a really good block card. This is also another good defensive card just because it ignores progressive. So if you can get the thing within a blockable range, you can make this thing your last block. The only issue with it is that it's a 3 mid, but that's why we play like resting up to make our defense a little bit better. Like I said, it's an aggro deck. You're not really expecting to play a lot of defense in the game. You're kind of hoping you're building for a couple turns and then throwing 5 attacks. And as I said, this side is considerations. There's definitely more. This is just a couple of cards I want to talk about. Keiko's Aid's another good defensive card. After you block an attack, your next attack gets +2 difficulty. It's just a really good defense card in the game. I'm not saying don't like if you want to get a second deck, then get a second deck. But if you're not gonna get a second Tekken Jin Kazama deck, the only thing I'm telling you should get from the deck is 2 more Devil Gene. When you see Devil Gene, your turn looks a lot different because when you give something 3/3 and then you give the next thing 4/4 for basically free, it's really good. And then also the spin momentum to get 3 speed is not anything to like scoff at. Like that is EX3 one time for each attack you have, and then knee smash if it's an attack and flip a foundation to draw a card, and then you can destroy Devil Gene and then you can rebuild it. It's a really good interaction with Devil Gene. And so yeah, like maybe 3. It is a unique card, so you don't want to see multiple early, but it is kind of like the crux of your character. Electric Moth, just a really good draw card. When your opponent's at 10 foundations, you draw 3, and so with like your character wants to see more cards because you're aggressive, and also, it's just it's kind of just a better version of this card. This card says when your character's commanded, you draw 1 card. Now it does have powerful 2, and this doesn't have any of that, but I don't know if that's really that big of a deal when this card is EX3, and we're gonna probably end the game with this card anyway. You could also find another powerful card to put in to like replace this, because 4/4 draw 1 card if I've already used my character's ability is not the best. And then Cancer Creation Strike. If you don't want to go with this vertical maneuvering vertical maneuvering strategy, and you want to play more 2 diffs, this card does say your 2 diff becomes a Devil Gene once it's destroyed. And then it also has technically powerful 1 for each face up. You discarded a momentum to get it 1 damage for each face up with exactly 1 copy in your stage. So you are flipping a lot of cards in this deck. So you might only have like 1 Warp Intention face up. You might only have 1 Nutrient Method face up. You will only have 1 Devil Gene face up. So automatically Devil Gene does make this a 4 for 6. And then your character can give it more stats. And like I said, there's definitely other cards you could put in the character. These are just a couple of cards I want to talk about. But that's everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. I actually really like this deck a lot for what it became. For $15, I think this is a pretty good. The deck is like $15, and then $15 upgrade for $30. I think this is a pretty solid aggro deck, just to take to your locals and have fun with. And yeah, I mean, I tried this deck out a few times. I was absolutely in love with it. I actually think this character is really fun to play. For as simple as he is, just giving your stuff a bunch of stats, restanding, and doing it again is just really cool in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will leave the link to this deck in the description so that you can just go to this deck profile yourself and copy it, download it, whatever you want to do. Put it on TTS. But I hope to see you guys next time. I will be doing the June deck next. That will probably be next week's video. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.